I think it's fair to say that this year's E3 has given us a few really cool announcements and an absolute truckload of CGI trailers that really tell us nothing about the games they're trying to sell to us, at least in my humble opinion. However, the game that we're talking about today, which is called Strangers of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origin, did actually catch my eye. Originally for the wrong reasons, but a demo was released alongside the E3 announcement, which I thought was a pretty cool thing to do. I've played through it at this point a few different times on various difficulty levels and have experienced pretty much everything that it has to offer, and of course I wanted to share it with you guys. Before that, as usual, I want to thank everybody for the support on the channel and say welcome to all the new subscribers. It's genuinely really cool to see the enthusiasm that people have for, such a small channel like mine, and I really have all of you to thank for that. We currently have a goal on the channel of reaching 500 subs, so if you're new here, take a look at my other content, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing. It helps small channels like mine get shown to more people, which is what we all want, so I'd appreciate that a ton. So why did this game stick out to me for the wrong reasons? Well, when the demo first dropped, it was actually unplayable. And I don't mean like it was bad and I didn't really like it or anything like that. It was literally unplayable. It wouldn't actually start up. As far as I'm aware, this was the case for everybody who downloaded it. It wasn't an isolated thing, it was literally everybody. The download was actually corrupted and simply wouldn't work for anyone who wanted to try the game out. And that is not a good look for a game that was just announced at E3 with a demo to, build it up to an audience. It was fixed relatively quickly, and I can only assume it was a small error in the coding or something like that. I mean, mistakes are mistakes and they happen, so I'm happy to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. The other reason it stuck out to me for the wrong reason was because the trailer for the game is actually kinda bad. I mean, it's fine, but the main character just seems to say the word chaos a ridiculous amount of times within a short trailer, And it's actually kind of comical and it's become a bit of a meme at this point. I mean, if you go and watch the trailer now, you'll see what I mean. You can't unhear it. And also, if you do go to watch it, read the comments because they are pretty funny as well. It just kind of makes a game that clearly wants to take itself very seriously sound like a bit of a joke, and I'm not really sure that's what they had in mind when they edited that trailer. That said, Japanese games that get dubbed into English for trailers often do get some weirdness to their voiceover and how it's delivered, but it's not ideal, but I guess it's fine. But with that stuff out the way, what is the game exactly? Well, it's actually a Souls-like game made by, I believe, mostly the same developers that created the Nioh games, that being Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. Although I'm almost certain this game isn't directed or produced by Ko Shibusawa like the Nioh games were. It plays more like a mixture of something like Code Vein and Nioh as opposed to an actual Souls game. I mean, the game has decided to completely ignore stamina in favor of a faster and more reactionary battle system, which has the flashiness and finishing moves of something like Nioh, but with the quick parries and posture system of something like Sekiro. Now, I love all the Souls games and Bloodborne, and I play pretty much all of the Souls-like games as well, but I just could not get on with Sekiro. I tried for many hours, but I just found that the combat was, too demanding for me. It's an incredible game though, and I love its visuals, I love its lore, and I do actually love the combat. I'm just not good enough at it personally to find it physically fun to play. But with this game, Strangers of Paradise, it seems to do a good job of making a Sekiro-style battle system a bit easier to deal with, at least in the demo anyway. It does have most of the Souls-like staples, like limited healing items that replenish when you rest at a checkpoint, the checkpoint system itself, which will forever now be known as bonfires, enemies respawning when you rest, and lots of other things as well. I didn't die too many times in the demo, so I'm not sure if it has a system akin to the Souls currency, where if you die, you drop a bloodstain, and then you have to go back, and you get one chance to recover it. It seems as though you level from combat and XP rather than an actual currency like Souls that you can potentially lose upon death, at least from what I've played. And when you do level up, they increase the level of specific jobs that you're currently using. In the demo, you can equip 2 jobs at a time that basically function like classes, and you can switch between these 2 jobs that you have equipped on the fly while in combat. It looks like you can acquire a lot of different jobs in the full game, and you can basically level them all up as you see fit, but as I said, you can only equip 2 of them to use at any one time. These jobs govern the weapons you can use and lots of other things that you can equip as well. So you can basically outfit each job with its own set of gear. This means that you can hang back and fire spells at your enemies with a mage class, for example, whose gear you spec to give better magic damage, then instantly at the press of a button, switch to a swordsman job and rush them with a greatsword. And at that moment that you switched, your stats would now instantly change to reflect anything you had equipped on the two different jobs. To try to explain this a little bit further, imagine in Dark Souls that you have two builds, one with a dagger and some light armor pieces, which of course all have their own individual stats, and another that's more of a tanky build, with heavy armor and a huge sword. Well, imagine being able to instantly switch or swap between those two things at the press of a button in the same way that you go from one-handed to two-handed in Dark Souls. That's virtually what this game allows you to do. Now, of course, it doesn't have as much impact on the game as it would in something like Dark Souls due to the way that they are intricately balanced, but it's still a cool system nonetheless. And I'm not going to go in depth about every little thing that this game has, as I really think you should try the demo for yourself, but there are a few things I would like to mention. As I said earlier, the game doesn't use a stamina system. Instead, they've gone for something a bit more like the posture system from Sekiro. In this game, it's known as a break gauge. You can attack as much as you like with no restrictions, and these successful attacks will lower the posture bar of an enemy that's taking the damage from you. This is shown as a yellow bar underneath the enemy's health bar. When you fully deplete it, you can do one of those cool finishing moves that you see where they get encased in red crystals and smashed to bits. It's a pretty cool thing to see. You also have a posture bar as the player, and it works much like it does in Sekiro. It depletes if you just stand there and do a normal guard, or when you tap the parry button at the correct time. The parry seems to deplete it much less though, which again is in line with the Sekiro system. Another cool thing about the parry in this game is that when something, shoots fireballs at you for example, if you parry it, you will actually gain some fireballs of your own to shoot back. And I think when I did it, I got about 3 to fire back, and that's a pretty cool mechanic. You sort of absorb the things that they send at you, giving you a limited amount of them to throw back. It's a cool thing. And really the last gameplay thing that I want to talk about is the boss of the demo. I'm going to show him here in a few seconds, so if you don't want to see what it is or be spoiled on it, don't worry, feel free to close the video, no hard feelings. Okay, are you still with me? Cool. Right, well, as you can see, this is the boss of the demo. In his first phase, I found him really quite easy, but I didn't do too well in the second phase until I really figured out how to avoid some of the attacks. It was actually quite simple in the end, but at first I found it quite difficult. I played the game on easy difficulty and normal, and on easy I beat him fairly quickly first try. On normal though, he was quite a bit tougher and I did die a few times, so if you want a challenge, I do recommend playing on normal difficulty or higher. I don't think they want this to be as hard as some of the Souls-like games, which is why they've given us a difficulty selection, and I think that's fine. I really have no problem with games doing that for people that maybe just want to enjoy the story at their own leisure and not feel pressured to, quote, get good. But I know other people in the Souls and Souls-like communities have, shall we say, mixed opinions on that topic, but that's something for another day, I think. I found the boss to be pretty cool and a decent fight. After I got into the rhythm of the second phase, it was really quite great. He uses normal attacks, quick dash attacks, fire, ice, some kind of red death AoE thing, and some lightning as well, just for good measure. And I also appreciate the little cutscenes that happen between the phases and at the end of the fight. It's just a pretty cool thing all around, I think. And now this is something I don't normally do in my videos, but I'm going to let the entire boss fight play out here with the sound on, no commentary, so you can really get a feel for how it looks and how it plays, just purely the game. And then I'll come back at the end and say a little bit more, so here it is.
Give up on me, Ash! Be still! Suck! On your knees! Waste away to nothing! Die! Be still! Suck! Perish! On your knees! Take this! Perish! Chaos bids you! No one you beaten! Pitiful! Die! Be still! Take this! You fool! Suffer! Waste away for nothing! Take this! Ride! Suffer! Perish! Accept your fate! You fools! Now we're talking!
So there you go, what did you guys think of that? I know it wasn't a perfect fight by any means, but it was cool nonetheless. I would definitely recommend this demo to any of the Souls or Souls-like fans out there. It's pretty good honestly, at least in my opinion, but it's not quite up to standard yet. It does look a bit ugly in places, the characters are a little bit bland at the moment, the AI companions aren't very helpful, and they actually require a healing item of yours to revive them if they get downed. And this is running in performance mode, but you may notice some dips in the frame rate here and there. It also does chug a bit in certain areas, and the lighting is a bit weird in places. It just needs a good tuning up all round, you know? I'd say overall it shows some pretty good potential, but it's currently pretty rough around the edges, but hopefully they'll be able to clean it up by the time the game comes out. It's slated for 2022 sometime, so it could be early, it could be late 2022. I think it has plenty of time to make some changes, clean things up, and then hopefully I'll be reviewing it when it does finally drop next year. But I think that's all there is to say for now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, or perhaps leave a thumbs up or a comment if you want to. Remember to check out Pyro Games for all your retro gaming goodness. I'll have a direct link to their store in the description below, as well as a discount code for 10% off your entire order. But with all that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.